On today's show,
we break down the latest chapter in the league's best rivalry.
In the Bone Zone, Brent Barry joins us to discuss the tactic of intentionally fouling bad free throw shooters.
And watch your step. We got a new round of weekend whoopsies.
It's Monday, March 9th. The starter starts now.
Good evening, Sweet World, and welcome to the starters. Whether you're joining us live online, you're listening to the podcast, or you're catching us on NBA TV, we're very, very happy to have you. I'm Jay Skeets, and alongside me, as always, that's Tess Mellis.
Let's NBA.
To my right, starters blog editor Trey Kirby.
Ayo!
Ayo! And finally, the international man of mystery, taking it to the max, Lee Ellis.
Friends.
Lily, all right, fun Monday show. Brent Barry going to join us in the Bone Zone to discuss a number of topics. Also, weekend whoopsies, that's a Monday staple. But first, we're doing fill in the blank again. We ask you to play along at home, jump on Twitter, hashtag the starters to fill in your blank. And we'll start with the San Antonio Spurs. They picked up their fifth straight win on Sunday. Tony Parker played excellent, 32 points in 30 minutes. Kawhi Leonard, great as well. He scored 20. They've won 5 in a row, as I said, so I want to know, Tass, fill in the blank. And, of course, everyone at home. The San Antonio Spurs are what?
They're scary again. And it's not so much their 5-game win streak or that they have the third best record since January 1st. It's that their key cog, Tony Parker, is starting to look like Tony again.
Right.
He's had a bad season. I'm sure he would admit that. A lot of it is because of injuries, but he's starting to get in the paint. He's starting to be the best player on the team, and that just makes everybody else so much better. He just hasn't been able to score in the paint. He's only scoring 6 points in the paint per game. That's the lowest since his rookie year. Wow. He had 16 on Sunday against Chicago. He had 11 shots in the paint on Friday against the Nugs. That was a season high, thanks to ESPN for those stats. He just makes everybody a lot more steady, especially a guy like Kawhi Leonard, who can't be a number one guy yet. Right. I think he's shown that, and then TP just kind of puts everybody else into their role.
I kind of think people are overreacting to the last 3 games. Personally, Tony Parker shot 40% in January and February. The last 3 point guards he faced were Ty Lawson, Aaron Brooks, and Ray McCallum. These are not stoppers he's going up against by any means. And the Spurs have kind of struggled. They have the best record third best record since January 1st, like you said, but they're 6-7 against 500 teams, 1-4 against Western playoff teams. The Spurs will be back. They're not yet. They have played some bad teams and smoked them like they should.
Well, I think what happened was the Spurs went on their rodeo road trip.
Yeah.
You know, it was 9 games. It usually is. That's when they usually, quote unquote, turn on their season. They turn it up a little notch. They didn't this year. They went 4-5. They started there 2-5. They won the last 2 games. So people were like, whoa, what's going on there? They're struggling all these injuries. But you don't think Tony Parker has looked a little more explosive? I know the guys he's going up against.
It's a lot easier to look explosive against those guys. He's playing against bottom 10 defenses, and he's dominating, which he should. Maybe they're turning it on, but it's also, you're playing bad teams. Tony Parker should light up bad teams.
He just hasn't, the entire year, he just hasn't been able to get into the lane.
Yeah.
And whether it's Ty Lawson or Ray McCallum, those guys can't stop you, or they just don't. But he's a guy who uses a pick to get into the lane, and that's what's happening. I think he just looks freer, and he's making everybody else look a lot better. Like, they got into transition yesterday against the Bulls, a ton of points in transition. They're third worst in transition, so they just look more like this.
It's not just Parker, though. It's Kawhi Leonard finally healthy as well. Thiago Splitter's healthy. Patty Mills is coming off the bench again. I mean, the thing about the Spurs, what's made them so successful is that continuity, and they really haven't had that this year compared to what they normally have.
Right.
They've had a lot of different starting lineups, a lot of guys in and out. And again, coming back to Kawhi, he was in, he was out, he was back in, and then he's back out, and now he's back in, and he's looking good. And it starts on defense. Yesterday, he was fantastic again, getting their offensive game going from there. So the Spurs, this is the time of year, though, you mentioned last year in April, they went on that big 19-game winning streak that sort of started in February, ended in early May, and they're going to start doing that again. Hopefully they start building up towards the playoffs.
Yeah, the numbers back this up. When Parker plays well and Kawhi play well, when they combine for over 30 points, they're 15-1 with these 2 guys in there. Tony Parker, after the game, said Kawhi is the reason why.
Yeah.
Defensively, gets these stops. We go the other way. We get these easy baskets. You saw that against the Bulls. So many transition points. So what's funny is, while all these other teams are going through injuries, you know, the poor Blazers with the Wesley Matthews, Blake Griffin out, of course, for a little while with the Clippers, the Spurs, who have struggled with injuries this season, are now getting everyone back at the right time as we sort of get into the home stretch here of the regular season.
They've been doing it quietly.
Yeah.
For sure.
They're the only team. They're 7th right now. They're only 3.5 games back of Houston for 3rd.
Right.
There's only 20 or so games to go, so they probably won't catch them for 3rd. But they could sneak into that 4th place, and if they have home court advantage, it makes a difference. But they are the only team that really doesn't matter where they finish in the playoffs. They're a threat to whoever they play.
One little anomaly from this Spurs game on Sunday. Tim Duncan, for the first time in his career, didn't hit a field goal.
The first time in his career?
Yeah, you heard me.
Incredible.
It snapped the longest streak in NBA history. He went 0 for 8. and it was the first time in 1,311 games that Lee Ellis scored as many baskets as Tim Duncan.
Yeah, we've had similar career paths.
Yeah,
actually.
really have. But it's, I mean, again, it's just worth noting. It's very wild. You see there, he by a mile had the longest streak over Akeem second and Jordan third, not far behind Akeem.
Also, the first time since his freshman year at Wake Forest that he didn't score. It's been literally 21 years of him playing a million basketball games. They didn't score a basket.
Has he scored in every All-Star game? Did we
That's a great
double check
question.
that?
We gotta check the stats.
I would
Gotta go in
imagine.
the archive.
I would imagine.
Remember he had a tip in though on Sunday.
Yeah, for the Bulls.
For the Bulls.
Yeah,
Okay.
so he did sort of score.
Count
All right.
it.
All right, next one here, guys. Our latest moment in the rivalry between the Dubs and the Clippers. It was after the game. I'm sure you guys have seen this. Tass, your reaction, fill in the blank, your reaction to the Dante Jones post-game bump of Draymond Green.
It was, come on. That is weak. That is weak. You seek a guy out in his post-game interview. I thought it was a little ridiculous. And then afterward, in the locker room, Draymond Green threw some well-earned shade Dante Jones' way.
I think he wanted a reaction from me, but he don't play. If he gets suspended, they may not even notice. Really smart too, you know, when it's on ABC. And obviously the post-game interview is the highlight of that segment, and you bump somebody. He got some camera time, which he needed because there wasn't much celebration from their bench today, so you didn't see him much. So he got the camera time that he was looking for. Just expect to be reviewed and see what happened.
I thought that was incredible. Draymond Green was great in that post-game interview.
Great zings.
And he was right. I know that's what Dante Jones' role is, but you don't do it post-game.
Not while he's
That's
having an
kind of
interview.
Draymond Green's role too.
Yeah.
He's the guy that gets under everybody's skin.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny to see somebody get under his skin,
Well,
I think.
I like what Green said. He said that I used to be in Dante Jones' role my first year in the league. I didn't play. I was
Right.
basically out there to bump shoulders and bump guys and be that sort of goon role. And I know Doc Rivers probably loves this from a guy like Dante Jones.
Sure.
But do it during the 48 minutes. I'm not a big fan of post-game finding a guy in the court and hitting him.
Yeah, when he's having his post-game interview, I think that's not the appropriate time.
The look from Draymond Green.
Yeah,
is
but I think-
gold. I mean, that's TV gold.
You know, I think Draymond handled it well. He just went in there. He was
Oh,
composed.
money
He
in the
delivered.
bank.
Yeah, he delivered a couple of great singers, as you mentioned. And the thing is, you know, this is just building up, and hopefully we do
Yeah.
see these teams in the playoffs.
Okay, hold on. What does everyone think? Did he do it intentionally? No
Of
doubt.
course.
Yes,
I mean, he
no
sort
doubt.
of
He looks
avoid
over.
him.
He looks
Yeah.
over. He makes
Yeah.
sure
You can
to get
easily
an
avoid
elbow.
that sort of
Yeah.
contact for sure.
There's a lot of basketball court that he could have walked on.
yeah.
Had
A
to
lot
bump
of
on
court.
there.
But again, I mean, these two teams don't like each other, and these are sorts of things that, you know, you don't see too much hugging, and they're not great friends on the court afterwards. So you want to see this sort of stuff, and hopefully we see a really big rivalry, and again, hopefully in the finals.
Well,
of the playoffs.
that's exactly it. Every
Yeah.
time these two teams play, there's comments being thrown around.
Yeah.
of
Draymond Green
guys.
sticking his tongue out of Blake
Yeah,
Griffin.
exactly. That's
one
exactly
time.
right. There's been a lot of things. This is sort of, you know, we called it there in the headlines, the latest chapter. I mean, it's a small chapter, no doubt. But between these two teams, they've got some
Yeah.
history, like some immediate history here, which really just makes you hope they do play again in the playoffs.
And to me, it seems like more of a problem for the Clippers, right? The Warriors always kind of seem to laugh it off, and the Clippers just get really, really angry about this stuff.
Yeah, that's I think a characteristic of Doc Rivers' team. You know, they like to play tough. He likes his guys to be tough, and I just love you. Obviously love Draymond Green being tough the entire year. One of the toughest guys in the league, coming off a game-high 23 points. He's just a stud right now.
Hilarious moment, again, between these two teams. And let's hope they meet in the playoffs and there'll be a whole lot more
awesome.
bumping, both in the game and I'm sure after the game. All right, final one here. I love this one. Fill in the blank, Tass. This is a tough question. The best crossover this weekend was?
I'm going to stay in that game. Steph Curry was ridiculous.
All right.
And it wasn't so much how he lost the guy with the crossover, but the fact that Chris Paul jumps because he respects his shot so
Like
much.
3 steps behind the line.
And Curry shot only 9 times in this game. It just shows you how much respect he gets, and not just once, but twice.
I was going to say, this might be the better
Oh, this
play.
was ridiculous. And again, it wasn't a mean crossover. It's just 4 guys are gone, and I'm turning around and shooting an off-balance 3 that
When
splashes.
does he even decide to shoot it? Right? Like
exactly.
he's
Yeah. It's
facing
like
away
facing
from
away.
the hoop.
Well, that's
Plenty
the
of
thing.
time
The
on the
shot
shot clock
clock,
too, yeah.
Yeah, the shot clock's at 10.
Yeah.
It's not at 3. It's not at 2. There's time to run something
Ridiculous.
still, and he
You-
thinks he's going to shoot it.
You'd be upset with his shot form because there is no shot form.
Oh,
on
no,
that,
and
right?
Steve Kerr's reaction was exactly right. He's like, what are you doing? That's a great shot.
Yeah.
Well done. You know,
No,
I mean,
it's
you
like-
don't want someone shooting with 4 guys in your face like that. But
Everyone is like also in that second clip, like swiping at air.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 I mean, and we can save the debate
Paul
of
jumps though in that first night. That's beautiful.
that is beautiful. There are other nominees though for the best crossover of the weekend. I'm with you on a couple of these Steph plays, but I would make a small case for Lance Stevenson putting Anthony Tolliver on
Yeah.
skates because he embarrassed him. And then we also got the shimmy.
Yeah, the
from
shimmy. That
Lance.
made, yeah. The thing is with Anthony Tolliver here is he just tries to keep his balance. Most of the time you just say, just let it go, don't try to fight it. But instead he does. And then Lance finishes it off with the beautiful crossover, then the shimmy. It's magnificent stuff.
So let's hear what people think. Jump on Twitter, hashtag the starters. The best crossover of the weekend was we had J.R. Smith dropping Brandon Knight. Chandler Parsons got Ryan Kelly on skates. But Lance with the shimmy always helps it there too. Let's hear what everyone thinks. We got lots more coming up on the starters when we return. Brent Barry joins us in the Bone Zone to discuss the intentional fouling conundrum. We'll get his opinions on that and a whole lot more. So come on back. Back with the starters into the Bone Zone, joined by two-time NBA champ wearing a toque today, Brent Barry.
Who's
I
tuking
got a
tonight?
big ski trip coming up, a spring break for my boys, so
Okay.
I'm kind of trying to get ready to
practicing
get on the mountain.
Very festive.
The man chasing the bear, chasing the man chasing the bear.
That's a cool
Subtle,
look,
but
man.
it worked.
What a metaphor.
All right, we got a couple things we want to get your opinion on here. So let's get into it, because Greg Popovich was asked about the intentionally fouling of guys. We know we've seen Pop do it before with bad free throw shooters, puts them on the line. He said to the San Antonio Express News there, Dan McCarney, I'm torn in the sense free throws are a part of the game, just like if another team doesn't play good defense, you try to take advantage of it. If they have people who don't shoot free throws, you try to take advantage of it. The goal is to win. Does it look bad? Does it look ugly? It looks awful. There you have it. So he's agreeing that it looks bad for the game of basketball, but I'm going to keep doing it, says
I'm
Pop.
going back to the first part of that Skeet, so it says, I'm torn.
I'm torn.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
He looks very remorseful every time he does
Very,
it.
very remorseful putting DeAndre Jordan at the line for 25 free throw attempts or whatever it
Yeah,
is.
28, I think he ended up going. But what,
That's
do you,
right,
what do you
28.
think about this? Because some people say we do need to get rid of this rule or tweak it because it is ugly, and who wants to watch DeAndre Jordan go to the line time and time again? What's your
Okay,
take
so
on
that right there is the argument about we're going to change the rule for what? For the entertainment value of the game,
Yeah.
for the flow
exactly.
of the game, for it to be more watchable for the fan.
Yep.
We've done a lot of things around the NBA in terms of rule changes to try to increase offensive production. They've done it in baseball. We've seen rules in football change. It's always about more and more points.
Right.
But to change something like this in a strategic fashion because a couple of guys can't shoot free throws,
that's
to
right,
me,
yeah.
Crazy.
seems like a crazy idea that we're just talking about it for viewership and for entertainment purposes. We talked about it, Trey. How many guys would we put on this list about how overblown the free throw issue is?
Yeah, there's like 5 guys probably, and a lot of them get pulled anyways because they're probably just not going to be out on the court then. It's like Rondo maybe, DeAndre Jordan, Steven Adams.
Andre Drummond.
Andre Drummond, yeah.
Ed Davis, Iguodala, Josh Smith, all those guys are bad.
We
free
probably put Rondo on that list, which is strange because he's maybe the only guard
Yeah.
that somebody
It's
throws
crazy.
to the line. And maybe like last year we saw Oklahoma City do this with Splitter in the playoffs when he was struggling to shoot from the free throw line. In Game 2, Oklahoma City was doing a Thiago Splitter and putting him at the free throw line. But the idea about a rule change, I think, to be explored is a good idea.
Yeah.
I'm not really for it.
Okay.
But there are some options there are some things that people have thrown out as ideas to try to curtail what it is that's going on that are quite interesting.
Well, in the final 2 minutes of the game, if you do this, you get one free throw shot and you get the ball back. So some people say, why don't you just make that rule for the
All the way
entire
through.
game?
Yeah, all the way through the
Because that
game.
would get rid of this, in theory.
Coach Van Gundy made that point on the broadcast recently, saying, I don't understand why we're going to have 46 minutes of one way we play basketball
Yep.
and then 2 minutes where we're going to change the rules because guys can't make free throws. So there's been another interesting idea about if an individual player gets fouled 3 times in the same quarter, that on the 4th time you can choose which guy on the floor gets to go to
okay.
the free throw line, so that it's up to you to put somebody else to the line. Interesting strategy.
Right.
There's the idea about the bonus, which is supposed to benefit the team who has drawn 5 fouls in any or 6 personal fouls in any given quarter. The bonus is supposed to benefit the offense. So can they elect to either take the ball out of bounds or send that player to the free throw line? It becomes an option for the coach as to what he wants to do. Player at the free throw line versus another possession out of bounds, which then starts messing with the team up 3 strategy. You know, again, there's so many ways to discuss how you could change the rule, but to me, the core of it is, why are we changing the rule? We're changing it because of a deficiency in what it is that players have regarding stepping to the free throw line and knocking down free throws. I'm for picking out a fan to go shoot the free throws
I love it.
for DeAndre Jordan.
love it.
Like
We
anybody
would be at every game.
I'm going every
Yes.
Clippers game.
Yeah.
So then you could start loading up your front row of fan base
like
and
it.
pick your local college guys who are shooting 90% and say, hey, Mitch, you go shoot DeAndre's free throw.
I do have a question for you. Sorry, just because I've been dying to ask this, because we always hear a guy like DeAndre Jordan, sub 50% at the line in games, but everyone always says, well, you should see him in practice. You should see him in practice. He knocks him down. You've played with some horrible free throw shooters. Chucky Hayes comes to mind with your last year with the Rockets. Danny Fortson.
The hitch.
The hitch, right.
Chucky's
Reggie
hitch.
Evans.
Danny
Fortson.
Reggie Evans, excuse me.
Reggie,
with the songs,
yeah,
that's what I
Reggie.
meant.
Yeah,
Do these,
there's
do these
the
guys
hitch.
actually
Sorry, Chuck.
hit these? Do they actually hit their free throws in practice or
Yeah,
not?
I've seen Chuck Hayes hit a number in a row in practice, and then at the free throw line just lock up when it's game time and the bright lights are on and the crowd's getting going. There is something psychological to guys, and we've seen that in seasons. We've seen good free throw shooters dip down. I mean, it just comes to mind because I'm thinking about Tim Duncan's had poor free throw shooting years and then recovered the next year, getting his confidence back and working on things. And it's not to say that they haven't practiced free throw shooting.
Even your
Mr. Triple-Double, Chuck Hayes. How dare we rip
Oh
him?
yeah. You even had a bad down year at the free throw
I did
line.
have a down year
You had like
because
a 60%
Yeah,
year.
sometimes it's about your consistency. That's what's interesting about DeAndre Jordan's plight is that sometimes you have bad years because you just don't get to the line. Like shooting one free throw every
Yeah.
seventh game, not the easiest thing to do.
Right.
But when you're shooting 20 plus free throws
You should
in a
be knocking
game
them down.
or 10 plus free throw attempts in a game. That's why you see most of the league leaders who get a lot of free throws shoot it well because they're establishing rhythm. So to see those guys struggle, it is tough to watch. But hey, right now it is a part of the game.
That's why Rick Carlisle calls timeouts in between guys' free throws to sort of throw them off. I like that.
Ice him.
Icing the kicker there. Yeah, absolutely. Finally, how was the calling a game with Marv Albert?
Oh man,
on Thursday
ridiculously good. I just was speaking to you guys about this. Genuinely, in the beginning of the game, saying I was calling the game with Marv Albert was awesome.
Right
I don't know. It was really cool.
Were you
to be
tempted
asked to do
drop
that?
a yes on Marv Albert?
No,
Yes.
I would never do that. I did do this though. At breakfast, I kept asking him for things to pass over to me because I just wanted to hear his voice. So I kept saying, "Marv, you pass the ketchup? Yeah, all right.
Yes.
Did you pass the salt? Yeah, I kept getting it going. So.
Amazing.
And I owe you guys a voicemail message. So if there's an opportunity again to work
A
with
Marv Albert voicemail message.
yes, that's what I'll
That'd
do.
be perfect. Bones, thanks as always. We got to take a break. When we come back, Zaza takes nothing easy to a whole other level.
Practice your free throws, kids.
There it is. Back with the starters, right into weekend whoopsies.
Klay Thompson tripped over his own 2 feet on Friday. Looks like his feet got caught in some clay.
Oh, I get it.
Ah, it's Clay.
I like how he acknowledges it.
He
Yeah.
knows. He knows he's going to show up a lot.
The classic, my bad. On Saturday, a nice little dance here between DeMarcus Cousins and Michael Beasley. Look at this, a little spinorama here. He gets airborne. Beasley gets airborne, caught on DMC.
Wow.
Bit of romance on the hardwood.
Yes, absolutely, Lee. Absolutely.
Swing your partner round and round.
Just throw on a nice little slow R&B jam on that.
That's a good one. Friday night, this gentleman working at Phillips Arena in Atlanta has a double bow tie.
Oh.
Trey, is this a no-no? I thought you might like it because it's got some flair to it.
Yo, dog, I heard you like ties, so I put 2 ties in your tie so you can tie 2 ties when you wear a tie. Thanks, Exhibit.
Double bow tie, what does it mean? Zaza Pachulia, real classic weekend whoopsie. Misses the wide open right-handed.
Classic.
And then follows it up with another one. Nothing easy!
Which is worse, the
And then
missed
gets a
dunk
foul.
or the air ball off the backboard?
Oh, he kind of lost the first one.
Yeah, I think it's the air ball. To
Yeah.
brick it from there is pretty
Hard
bad.
to suicide.
Nothing easy. Nothing
This
easy.
one, Brook Lopez, the beautiful touch pass off his dome. It goes straight off his head, right to Bogdanovic, who hits a 3. Joe Johnson got an assist for this play
Yeah.
because he passed it off Brook's head.
Off those curls.
Yeah. The soft hair allows for a really nice soft touch pass.
That's absolutely
Impressive
right.
to be ready to
point.
shoot it, though.
Yeah,
It should be Brooks' assist.
Yeah.
It should be.
It should be. All right, final one here. This one's crazy. The Bucks retired Bob Dandridge's number 10 number over the weekend. One problem, guys. They screwed up the 11-game stint year that he had at the end and put 80-81 instead of 81-82.
Just leave it off, maybe.
Yeah, I know. I mean, again, it was 11 games, but yeah, wrong year. A classic whoopsies. But congratulations to Bob Dandridge there. 4-time All-Star, won a title with them. Won another one, right, with the Bullets, I think,
that's
later on. So there you go. Tass, we had a wedgie.
We did have a wedgie. Charlotte, Toronto, Friday night. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. The jumper has improved, not on this one, though. And Patrick Patterson points out, hey, it just slipped out. Give us the ball. Just give it to us. We don't need a jump ball. You don't need to whistle it dead. I agree with Patrick Patterson. That's entirely right. Unfortunately, yes.
But
We wouldn't have a wedgie then.
That was an early wedgie call.
But it goes to a jump ball. Charlotte gets the jump ball. It really should have been the Raptors ball, in my opinion.
Great
Either
call,
way,
refs. Great call, refs.
Yes.
We got
Either
another
way, the
continues
ticker
there.
goes up.
the streak continues. If you lose the jump ball, you lose the game.
That's
right.
Excellent. All right.
Last two.
Let's unleash the unicorn. Starters Fantasy Minute. It's Monday. We got your pickups of the week presented by the General Insurance Lee. This is the last week for a lot of Yahoo fantasy basketball players. Who should they keep their eye on?
Dennis Schroeder continues to impress, averaging 16 and 8 with a three-pointer over his last four. Gerald Henderson has been similarly productive, going 14, 4 and 4 and a steal over his last seven. But the guy I'm highlighting today is Lakers rookie point guard Jordan Clarkson. He slowly emerged into a steady and consistent contributor. He's given you 17, 4 and 4 while shooting over 50% in his last seven. As you mentioned, a lot of fantasy playoffs start next week. So you want to grab him if you can. He's likely available, only 34% owned in Yahoo Fantasy Leagues. I like this guy. I think he could be good. I mean, on the Lakers, he's going to play a lot of minutes as well.
Did you see Kobe there too?
Yeah.
Impressed.
Yeah, very
That
much so.
play at the
He's
end.
half Filipino, by the way.
Look at your Week
mum's
20
Filipino.
fantasy schedule.
Great.
The Knicks have 5 games this week, so that's pretty important if you're looking for guys to pick up. Yes, it is the Knicks, but they'll be playing a lot of basketball, so might get some stats. You see the rest of the schedule there, a lot of teams with 4 games. And the Mavericks, only 2 games this week.
Andrea Bargnani's hot. Lee, are you going to the playoffs?
Maybe. I've
No,
got this
you're
week.
not.
Final break when we return. Friday night's pick and payoff results, and Sunday afternoons, very solid play. Come on back. Back to the starters, a look at Friday night's pick and payoff results. Pretty good night for both Tass and I. I went 4-1. Tass went 3-2. So
Got me in overtime.
I'm up a game again, man. This is getting boring. All I do is win these things. Lots of time left of March. So Tass's picks tonight and my picks, we agree on 3 games: the Heat, the Grizzlies, and the Warriors. I'll take the Hornets at home. You got the Wizards on the road, and you got the Bucks at home. I'll take the Pelicans. So either it will stay the same, or I'll be up even bigger, or you'll be in the lead. All those scenarios.
One of
Very
those 3
true.
things is definitely going to happen.
Lee, very solid play of the night.
Going to San Antonio, and it's another beauty from the Spurs. And first of all, I've got to give a shout out to Johnny Schumann, who pointed this one out first, because I wasn't watching this game live, and he lit it up on Twitter, and it is a beautiful play. Ends with Tony
He
Parker.
lit it up on Twitter.
The only
Straight
thing is,
lit it up.
and he did acknowledge this, it's not actually a swish bomb. That would have made it complete, but
Yeah.
very good. I like it when others can find the play like this.
Oh, pump fake party?
Yeah, pump fake
I like
party.
when I don't have to do my
Yeah,
job. Is that what-
exactly.
Yeah,
That's
Theo
beautiful. And that's
Rattler.
what I call a very solid play.
All right, thanks, Schumann. I hope you were trending. Guys, back tomorrow. We'll have Crossfire, the up-down report. So join us then, 6:30 p.m. Eastern here on NBA TV.
Thanks for joining us, folks. And remember, don't waste any type of savings, whether it be daylight or dough.
Brace the night, people.